Hello, can you hear me? Excuse me? Thank you for coming. I know it's a weird time because it's about lunch time, so it's probably not the best time for having this type of talks. My name is Marco Baena. I work as responsible for the artificial intelligence kind of department that we have in this company, Stratio. We are happy to do what we're doing, and we're going to be talking about the line of investigation that we're following here. It's more like philosophical part, but um, I'll talk through it. Can an intelligent system exist without awareness? It's a hard question. This is a nice definition of what intelligence is. Intelligence is the ability to achieve goals in the face of obstacles by means of decisions based on rational, truth-obeying rules. This is a very, very nice decision, description or definition of what intelligence could be. But I have the feeling that there are some concepts that cannot be completely defined or achieved just by the fact that the concepts themselves might be bigger than ourselves. When you think about it, uh, we think that we're intelligent, so we think also that we're conscious. So what is our ability to describe intelligence if it is probably something bigger than us? Or maybe we're within inside our own intelligence trying to describe it. It is like a set trying to describe itself. For me, it's kind of weird. I don't know if I can ever say that I can make a definition of something like that. It's strange. I'm going to propose a small experiment. This small experiment is for you and for us to explore together. And I'm going to be showing three scenarios of systems that by many people can be defined as intelligent. Uh, this big amount of intelligent definitions are the consequence of our variety in our brains. I believe that we are different from each other, even though we're very similar. And these differences allows us to make different definitions of these concepts, especially intelligence. So I'm going to go for the scenarios. The first one is a well-known scenario. I think you all know about somehow recent advances in the so-called intelligence systems, and this achievement of being able to play Go better than humans, it is somehow similar to what happens like already some years ago with chess, playing with chess. Before you look backwards, uh, you encounter many talks with colleagues in which they were saying intelligent system would be something that is able to play chess better than humans, or something that is better to play Go than humans. At one point, systems were better than us playing chess, and systems became better than us playing Go. And also, somehow recently, systems have overcome us playing even poker, which was more like an open and incomplete type of game. This is something hard to understand before it happens. And when it happens, you just say, okay, yeah, they got better, more intelligent. Okay, this is one scenario. Another scenario is, I'm sure you all saw this video. It's Boston Dynamics have been building these incredible robots for years. These robots like walk around, jump, they fly, they do things, and they look very alive, which is another talk. And when probably you saw this video on the internet, I won't play the video, and the video is about two kind of dogs. These two dogs are encountering a door, a closed door, and they want to go through it, and they open the door. They turn the doorknob, they pull from the door, and they help each other to pass through. It is very interesting seeing that because even the movements are like animals, and they're helping each other, and they know they have an obstacle, and they overcome it. and they help their colleague to do it. It's a very nice, if you didn't watch it, it's very interesting. Uh, okay, that's another scenario. A third scenario. This is something that we've been hearing a lot about, self-driving cars. It's a very nice scenario, actually. Imagine going to work, not having to drive. Imagine sending something to Mars and knowing that it's going to be able to survive or move around, do things, achieve a goal, recover some minerals, explore an area, do something for you, but you're not there. You're not even close. Communications are so hard that even though you can communicate sometimes with the device takes, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes to receive your instructions. So it's not something that you can control from here. So it needs to have special abilities that the other systems probably might not need. You can have a hybrid systems with the other two scenarios in which you can be simply helping from far. But in this last one, it's not the case. This one is something that, it's not alive, but it survives. It moves around, go to places, and does things. What things? Well, it looks like they have challenges coming from the environment, and they have goals. They have to do things. They have to move from point A to point B. And in the process of doing that, they have to execute tasks. They have to do things. And they discover new challenges and new goals, and even set them and plan to overcome the problems. Okay, this is the third scenario. And it is a very hard thing to do, but somehow all of us have a feeling already of what would be a more intelligent scenario. It's the chess playing game or the Go playing game. It is the second and more interesting option, or it's the last one in which the system is doing things on its own. Well, what do you think? Think about it. Which one is more interesting? Let me rephrase them. A Chinese game Go or chess game system playing with humans? A robot that is moving around and is overcoming obstacles, helping each other. There could be a community. Or self-driving car. Think about it. I mean, I think, personally, that we might agree on this. And this is very interesting, because even though all of you have a different concept of what intelligent is, what an intelligent system is, we probably agree, all of us, in that the third scenario has more chances to be intelligent. I mean, it is something like not alive, but aware of what's going on, aware of itself, aware of its weight on that planet, aware of how the tires are moving, even the cars that are on the road and have to take you to point A to B. That is interesting, yes? We all are kind of agreeing on that. And it is like the first time in that agreement. When you talk about definitions, you will not agree. If you ask people around, they all have different concepts of what intelligence is. And this happens, something very similar happens with consciousness and awareness. Awareness is like, we're talking about awareness is like cheating in a sense, because when you talk about awareness, you're talking about consciousness. It is a synonym. It's a easier and handy synonym. It doesn't scare people. If you tell somebody that you want to build a conscious system, they're going to think that you're crazy, or you just are selling something that you cannot build, or that you had some funny drugs last night or something like that. Yeah. So it's not easy to deal with this approach. Instead, if you talk about awareness, you start thinking about the term of self-awareness, awareness about the environment, about what it means. It's more like a technical synonym of it. So I chose to talk about awareness. Uh, just between us, of course, my interest is in getting closer to consciousness. I don't think I'm going to be able to build a consciousness. I don't even have the ability to define what it is. I don't think I can define what intelligence is. And I don't want to be cocky and say I know what intelligence is. I just don't know what intelligence is. I don't know what consciousness is. And I don't know what awareness is. But that's the interesting part. Just by accepting that limitation, that allows me to move closer to it. Because if I have a definition of what something is, I'm going to try to set characteristics to it, make it more specific, and try to shape something in the way I'm thinking. In that sense, I've been, since I was a kid, I was obsessed with the term of artificial intelligence. I didn't know what it was, so I spent a long time trying to define it. And I was not successful. I was reading a lot, seeing different definitions, different ways of observing it, and none of them were really satisfying. At one point, I did not surrender. Maybe I did. But I decided to get closer to the problem, to get something or somehow on the right path, on the right track. And in that moment, what I decided is to set objectives and walk in that direction. That was a very savvy decision from my part. And I think that helps. So I think I can skip this one because we already went through it. So when talking about awareness, many people describe awareness or consciousness, intelligence, and life as different concepts that are maybe complementing each other, helping each other to build something, but they try to define them separately. I think you cannot. I think they are together. When I say I feel it. I cannot be certain about it, and I'm not intending to be certain about it. I just want to walk in the right direction. But I have this strong feeling that something that is aware or has awareness is something that is driven by objectives, high-level objectives, because probably there are several levels of objectives, like tactical ones or strategic ones. But I'm pretty sure something that is aware, if it is organic or synthetic, has objectives, and it works for them, works to try to achieve them. That's one part. Also, something that I decided internally is that intelligent systems or systems should not have capabilities. Should have capabilities, but not something that we describe many times like services or programs. If something is aware, I don't think you can build awareness with something very, very specific as something that you can already describe, build, and have like services or programs like we may have in many of our current systems. And some other things that we might need for awareness is the ability to manage resources, to access data, to transform that data into knowledge, the ability to plan, and the ability to get that knowledge, extract connections between the knowledge and react to it. In summary, what I think that we're talking about is that the search for something bigger than us should be a discovery path. I think intelligence, consciousness, awareness, many of these things are bigger, much bigger of what we can really describe. So I think we just have to walk the path. Interesting, that's a talk from a movie that I love. And walking that path is gonna show us the next steps. First, you take a step, and then you have more visibility. You take another step, you see more. It's like the horizon when you go around the globe. It gets clearer and clearer as you walk. So you have to walk in that direction, and you might not know exactly the right direction, or that might not be achievable with the resources that you have, but just walking in that direction is gonna give you more visibility. Okay, here is the interesting part. I recently started working for a company that shares the same vision. But the company is Stratio, but I won't mention more companies because it's not for selling, it's for sharing. In here, there is an initiative. It's this area that we're working on, this not department, but it's a group of people, almost as crazy as me, I don't know. We call each other Space AI. In this group of people, we're searching for common things, and we're working in the same way. That's interesting. They already are working, building products in the same way. They don't try to set everything clear from the beginning and achieve it. They don't try to do it. They just try to walk the path. They try to go in the direction they think their clients need. And that's interesting. But now, in Space AI, we're trying to do something very, very similar, riskier, when talking about artificial intelligence. So, in a sense, it was a discovery for me, because somebody thinks the same way that I think, and they do things the same way. And that's interesting. And in that sense, that's something that I love, and I wanted to share with you. Thank you, not yet. Let me show you the video who we are. I was not aware of this going this way. Can I get some technical assistance, please? Well, they're helping me play in the video. The video is a very short one in which we describe some of the concepts that we were talking about right now. So I want to link it together. I want to show you what we're doing. Probably with audio. The music is very nice. That's the presentation, I think. Yeah, I need the video. That one. Yep. Make a full screen. Thank you. Thank you for watching it and not leaving. Because at the beginning it gets a little boring. At the beginning, I don't know if you realize it was showing a lot of text and menus and things. Those are actually part of the products that we're building. And those products are actually impressive because they help data scientists. And they help them so much that you can do things very quickly. In this event, there are many people, there are some people that are doing similar things, but we're very proud of our products. But that's not the key part of this talk. As you realized, after the video got a little faster, we were talking about abilities. We were showing about facial recognition. We're showing some capabilities that we are having about searching. Might not look very intelligent, but when you link things together, like all these and object recognition and abilities to recommend and learn from the data and put it all together, all these capabilities, I think they help. I think they are in the right track. So we don't know exactly how to get to awareness. We don't know how to do it. But we think we're working in that direction. And on the way, we're building capabilities, and we're paying attention to awareness. We're trying to discover it. We're doing things to get more information about it. We are investigating what is the role of the context of a conversation of a person in the meaning of what that person is or is interested in. We're trying to process huge amounts of data almost simultaneously in the same point or in a distributed way. It doesn't matter. We think those are components of an aware system. And we're putting all that together just for getting closer and closer to what we want. We're working with ENIA, and how do you say that? Natural interaction agent, and that is not a chatbot. That is something that resembles like a chatbot when it starts, and we already have more than that. And then it's able to search for things, help you kind of understand what you're saying, talking, or writing about. And that information, put it in context, provide it to you, help you with that information. Just interact with it with voice, with text, with documents, however you want. But the common denominator in all this is what we're seeking for there. We're seeking for the understanding of a bigger picture than ourselves. And that's what Space AI is for. I'm not saying this because I'm interested in selling you anything. On the contrary, believe me. I might be more interested on sharing with you and you sharing with us. Recently, we've been invited to several events with some universities and teams and people that are interested in similar things. And believe it or not, we started this project of Space AI very recently, and we already have achievements. Things that you were seeing there, they're real. Some of them are part of our products. Some of them are ready for creating projects with them. And some of them are just prototypes, but in the right direction, we think. As I was saying, sharing is one big part of what we're doing. We know we cannot do this alone. We need to do it together with more people that think like us. In this initiative, Space AI, we have the need to create a product and also finance the journey, of course. And we have the need for understanding, researching, investigating. We need the ability of doing this right. So we basically built 3 teams in the Space AI. One team is fully dedicated to have these abilities in a product, to make it basically ready for production. So you can get it, pay the license or however we charge for it, and put it in your systems and use them. Another part is on the other side, is in charge of making something like prototypes, making something new. It's not R&D. It's not, in the common sense, it's similar. But we're trying to discover things as we walk. So we're making prototypes and doing things that we already are using, just as prototypes. And then we have a team in the middle that is trying to help both of them to talk to each other, because you cannot make a product out of a prototype. It's impossible. So they try to get proofs of concepts from clients, test the prototype, build it, make it bigger, better, more robust, and get it closer to the product. So the other team can put in the product. It's hard. It's very hard to do it. But we're doing it, and we're doing nice things. So as I was saying, this is about sharing. We want to share. We want to be able to talk on the same way, and about the same things with people like you that are interested in this topic. And we are actually built an area for doing that. That is Space AI. It's about sharing, it's about knowing, it's about doing things. And we even have areas in that space to share. We call them sharing land. There's exploring land, it's like a showroom. There's a sharing land where we share things with you if you want, just walk by. And then this working land where we work, and so forth. So that's basically the meaning of this. We're trying to walk a path, a journey that we believe on. We don't know how to do it, but we believe that we can do it together. Thank you. I was a little ahead of schedule, and I'm afraid of saying this, but any questions? One question for you. Is anybody in this audience working on something similar to awareness, or is in that path? I know you are. Not the other one. Yes. Is anybody interested in this topic? Really, like believing that it's the right track for something, whatever it is? Thank you. And how many of you think that I came on drugs to this talk? I usually, yes. They ask me what type of drugs you smoked recently in a meeting, so I have to ask just in case. I was more humble, but more crude maybe on that talk. Less people, but the questions are supposed to be to me. Oh, please.
Ahora? Sí.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I know that you said that it's a path and we have to walk step by step and we'll see where we get to. But what's your feeling, because you're working on this space, what's your feeling of when do you think we could have some sort of awareness in an AI system, and then what happens if its objectives are not aligned with ours at that point?
Yeah, two really interesting questions. I basically don't know the answers to those. But many people make guesses about when this is going to happen. But that's basically related to the definition of done. You know, what is awareness for you? We don't want to get there. So I won't be able to tell you that we're there, actually. I don't know. About the second one, what happens if they have different objectives than us? Probably that was your question. I have no idea again. Probably if they're more intelligent than us, we won't be a trouble for something as intelligent. But if they are like us, if they are very similar to us, and if they have this ability that we have to take over, try to control, then we could be in trouble. But if we build that and we impose those features on something that we're building, it's not for us to blame them. You know what I mean? So I have no idea. I hope we have enough common sense to be nice to each other, you know, if that happens.
Okay. No, I try to extend this topic because it's what you said is something like if when we invited the bicycle, we do something like, hey, bicycle, you only can run at the speed of a human. It's like, okay, we invent the bicycle, and you have a speed limit of, I don't know, 5 kilometers per hour. So it's not a question of invent something and say, oh, maybe it's better or have the cognitive leadership that I have I don't have. It's more about try to find a complementary approach. It's like maybe a human can say a bicycle, okay, I want to go there, and the bicycle put the speed in going there. So it's not about, is better a bicycle or a human? Is better an AI or a human? It's a question of where we can go together to get it closer and enjoy it.
Yeah, totally agree. Actually, that's a very beautiful way of putting it. And actually, that's following the pattern of what we are doing. When you think about awareness and you allow yourself to consider it as some of these definitions that we may have, there are intermediary points between the full definition of what you're thinking and where we might be. And then in the middle, we are enhancing our own awareness by having information, data, etc. If the other part that is complementing us is working with us, as you are saying, it's a much pleasure ride, and it's better for everybody. I agree, totally agree with you. I like the analogy of the bicycle. I want a self-driving bicycle. I was promised hard questions on that side.
Thank you. I don't know if that is a hard question, but the path that you are going and that many others are going is unstoppable. I mean, we are advancing, and this is what will be happening in the future. But what do you think will happen to our awareness if machines are getting so aware?
Oh, that's a great question. Let me, from my humble point of view, I think that change has been happening for a while. I mean, I don't go anywhere basically without my phone and my GPS. I somehow forgot how to get to places many times. So my awareness related to my own state with the surroundings and the nearby areas has been decreased already. But that's because it's something that I'm allowing it to happen, because it's easier for me to just tell my assistant, take me the phone or whatever, take me here, take me there, and then I don't have to think about it. I just follow instructions. I think it's something that we decide. So what is going to happen to us? I think we're going to be complemented with what we are building to help us. And if we get too lazy, following the analogy, we will lose powers, like consciousness of where we are. That happens to me. When I go to places, I get lost many times if the GPS is not telling me the right directions. That was not happening to me years ago. I didn't have a GPS, and I hardly got lost. Maybe not got the most efficient way of getting there. So I think it's a decision that we have to make. And I think it's more of a personal decision, not a collective one. When you have something that can complement you, that can help you, and you take it or you use it not to put effort to do something that is actually helping you, thinking about stuff is helping you, you might be hurting yourself. I hurt myself by using the GPS many times. So I think it's a personal decision. I don't know if it's a good answer. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a question about boundaries and personal decisions. Yeah, I agree. All right. You were a very nice audience. Thank you.